how we would get the answers. All right, let's go back to our notebook, Rowan Research. If you don't have the link, you can just let me know and I'll send you the link. Okay, so let me see the hands of those who did the homework. All right, good. So I purposely made sure, okay, I see the hands, purposely made sure that I gave the homework from yesterday so you guys had the time of a day to do it. So when we went through it, you can understand what exactly was needed. So let me break it down again. What do we say about indirect proportion? We said that the more persons you have building a wall, the less time it takes, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the
Yes,
less,
sir.
Yes, sir.
right, and the less time or the less persons you have building that same wall, the more time it takes. So we're gonna go through now what sir is talking about. Let's go back to that question. Let's go back. All right. Okay, good. So look at this now. Let's go through the homework. So the first question was fairly simple. It just asked you, it was use somebody's example, because I was just marking a while ago and I was saying, you know what, let me just use this as a perfect example to show you now the steps. So in this one, it says a woman, let me zoom in. Right, can everybody see this? All right, so let's go to question one. A woman is walking her dog. It takes approximately 30 minutes for a full round trip. How long will it take if the dog walks twice as fast? So, woman, 30 minutes for one trip, right? If it walks twice as fast, then that means it's gonna be half the time. So that means it's gonna be 30 divided by 2, which is gonna be 15 minutes. Everybody got that question?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Yes, sir.
question two now.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's good. Question two says Annie earns $530 for working a 40-hour week. What amount of money does she earn for working 35 hours a week? All right, let's write down this question. Let's go here. So let's go back into yesterday's class and then we're gonna go now and answer this question together. All right. Let's go back. Let's go back.
Sir, I think
All right. So we're gonna hear from Nicholas. He says he wants to try. So here we go. So Nicholas will try this question.
yeah. So the first step, since that's the lower, I say the first step for it is you'd want to see how much 1 hour is.
Mm-hmm. Right. So to see how much 1 hour is, what do we divide? We would divide
And
total. By the.
yeah, you divide the money by the hours and by the hours.
Mm-hmm. And that
So,
and that would
and
give
then
us.
whatever you get from that, 13.25.
Let's see. Loading up. 1 second. It's loading up. All right. 1 second. Okay, there we go. 13.25. Perfect. So this 13.25 represents how much money is made in 1 hour. So Nicholas, how do you find now how much is made in 35 hours?
We'd multiply 13.25 by 35, and
Perfect.
the answer would be it.
Let me help you out. So let's just calculate. 13.25 multiplied by 35 gives us $463.75. All right, everybody? So in other words, she would make $463.75. So let me ask you now, right? When she worked 40 hours per week, did she earn more or less than compared to when she worked 35 hours per week?
More.
Perfect. So that would mean it is a direct proportion. This is an example of a, put it in bracket, direct proportion. When one increases, the next increases. When one decreases, the other one decreases as well. So in this case, if the amount of hours increase, then the amount she earns increases as well. But if she works less hours, she makes less money. Everybody understand? All right?
Yes, sir.
Let's do the last question. So 52 hours per week. All we would simply do is follow Nicola's step and just multiply the 1 hour amount by 52. Let's see how much we get. 13.25 by 52. That gives us $689. All right, so this does in fact represent the true value because she works the most hours per week here. That means she must earn the most money. And yes, she does earn the most money. Perfect. Let me just move this part B out here. There we go. And then put this underneath. All right, perfect. There we go. All right, excellent. So now we can move on to question 3. Question 2 is a little bit more difficult because, as you can tell, I'm stressing the fact that you have direct proportion and indirect proportion. And I saw some people have some struggles with this. So let me explain now what I see some persons doing. Okay, you say, for example, 7 years, it took, let's read the question. The tallest building in the world took 1,250 men to build it in 7 years. How long would it have taken if 1,000 men built it? And here's why this way of working it out wouldn't work. As we said before, if more people work on the wall, it will take what? Less time. Is that correct?
This time.
So when you work it out like this and you just divide 7 by 1,250, it will give you the incorrect answer because we are using the method for direct proportion here, which is incorrect. Let me just put it in bold. So this method that you see here is to get for direct proportion, because here's what happens. When you find 7 divided by 1,250, you get 0.0056, right? So now we know how much it took one person to build that wall, right? Then we multiply it by 1,000 men, you would get 5.6 years. So let's argue that out. It took 1,000 men to build it in 5.6 years, but then it took 1,250 men to build it in 7 years. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense, right? That's why we can't use this method. So here's why, or here's what we need to do rather. The method to find the amount of persons who built the wall is as such. All right, and I saw somebody did it, so I want to commend them. Let me just show you. Let's go here. So look at this for me. I'm not sure the person feels comfortable with me saying their name, but I'll show you what they did though. So the person said, okay, 1,250 men divided by 1,000 will give me a ratio. So the first step you need to find, let me put it here. Here are the steps. So write these steps for me, guys. Step 1, let me number it. Step 1, you are going to write a fraction with the larger value of the amount of men in the numerator, and then place the smaller amount in the denominator. So what would this be, guys? Let's draw it. We would have 1,250 divided by 1,000. Can this be simplified? Can anyone simplify this?
Yes, sir. 5/4.
That's zoo. Alright? So he's saying it can be simplified. And as I explained, the reason why we're using it as a fraction is because based on the principle of ratios, the amount of men to the new value would be 1,250 to 1,000. Right? Do you guys remember the idea of ratio? So when we simplify this fraction, we say we get 5 divided by 4. So here's the argument now. For every 5 men, there's going to be 4 guys working on that other wall. For every 5 men in the original wall scenario, there is 4 men in the new wall. Okay. In the next step, that was step 1. Multiply the fraction by the amount of time taken. How long did it take for the 1,250 men to build the wall?
7 years.
7 years.
7 years. So we're going to multiply 5 divided by 4, which is the ratio. 5 divided by 4 by 7, or in other words, 7 divided by 1. Can anything be simplified? No?
No.
All right. So we're going to say 7 times 5 is
35.
35. All right. 4 times 1 is
4.
4. All right. Now I'm going to call on, let's see, Kimani. Kimani, are you there? Kimani? I want you to now change this improper fraction to a mixed number for me, Kimani. So we have a whole number side to it. All right? So while he's coming back, David, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you change this improper fraction to a mixed number for me? How many times can 4 go into 35? 4 into 4 goes 1 time. 4 into 35?
9.
Very close. That was very close. Because here's why. 9 times 4 gives us 36. So you were just 1 off. We could say it goes 8 times and some change. So it goes 8. Alright? So 8 times 4 gives us 32. Alright? And then now how much do we have left from 32 to 35? That's 33, 34, 35. That's 3 divided by the original denominator, 4. So that means it took 8 years to build the wall for 1,000 men. Let's write that. That means it took 8 years, 8 and 3/4 years for 1,000 men to build the wall. Let's compare it to the original expression. It took 7 years for 1,250 men to build the wall. Does this follow indirect proportion, guys?
No,
It doesn't?
it's indirect.
Yeah, so that's something. Does it follow indirect proportion, right? Because if the amount of men go down, then that means it took more years to build the wall. Let me bold it up. Let me bold it. Let's bold it up. All right. So I want one person now to explain to me why this is true. Let me pick on Athzura. What do you understand about this statement? Athzura, are you there?
Statement that says it took 7 years for.
Uh-huh. So now that you know that it took 7 years for 1,250 men to build a wall, explain why it would be true, therefore, for it to take this amount of time for only 1,000 persons to build a wall.
Because the less men there are, the longer it will take.
Perfect. All right? So that means we can predict how long it will take for the next question. How much did the next question say? 2,300 men. We can predict it. Will it take more or less time to build the wall if we have 2,300 men? Let me pick on, wait, hold on. Let's pick on Harry. Are you there, Harry? Will it take more or less time for 2,300 men to build the same?
Sir, you're lagging.
I'm lagging? Okay, 1 second. Alright, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, guys? Right, I was saying, will it take more or less time? Alright, can you guys hear me now?
Sir, you're. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Also, sir, can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah?
With the math work, I can't take a picture of it, so I was wondering if I could just write it down in Microsoft Word instead,
Okay.
and then put it on the portal.
That's fine, no problem.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. So, I want someone now to, let's work this question together. Will it take more or less time for 2,300 men to build the same wall as the 1,250 men? Let's pick on Jazeel. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Right. Estimate it for me. Do you think it will take more or less time?
Less, sir. Less.
Less. That would be correct. Jazeel says.
It was just it will take less time, sir, because the more people have, the less time it will take, sir.
Perfect. Okay. So now Jazeel and I are gonna work out the question to see if it was true. Let me just quickly give credit. So Zoo was the person that, or Zhu was the person that I see that got every step correct along the way. I haven't finished marking it though, so I'm pretty sure other persons have done it as well. Okay. So let's work out this question as well. Right? Let's do it. So The first step was to write it in a ratio, Jazeel. So put the two amount of men in a ratio for me. Remember that we start off with what we know. So what original value do we know? Which value? The 2,300 or the 1,250?
1,250, sir.
Right. So we're gonna say for every 1,250 men, there's gonna be how many men?
Repeat, sir.
For every 1,250 men in this new question, how many men will there be?
2,300.
2,300. Let's write this in a fraction. So step 2 now would be to write it in a fraction. Let's go to the fraction, put draw. So we're gonna put 1, 2,
1,250.
50 divided by 2, 3, 0, 0. Okay, great. Right, can anything be simplified, Jazeel? Or do you want to work just as is?
It can be simplified, sir.
All right, let's
I think
simplify.
it can be simplified, sir.
Okay, let's simplify. So, what do you want to simplify by?
That would be, I say, go by 10.
10, okay. So if we simplify by 10, that means we're going to remove a 0 on each number. So 1,250 divided by 10 will just give us 125. 2,300 divided by 10 will just give us 230. All right? What else can we simplify by to make this even easier for us, Jazeel?
Sir, wait, sir. Why don't we go by 50?
Huh?
Sir, can you just simplify by 50?
Right? So you want to simplify it by 50 instead?
Yes, sir. So
All right?
25 for 1,000.
So how many times does 50 go into 1,250?
25, sir.
25 times. So let me just write, wait. Let me just put times divided by 50, 1 second. So we're gonna put divided by 50. Divided by 50. So we're simplifying it. Okay? Alright? Now what you said, 1,250 divided by 50, you said goes 25 times?
Yes, sir.
Alright? Gonna go 25 times. And now 2,300 divided by 50 goes
46 times.
46 times. So remember, it doesn't have to be like perfectly simplified. You could just leave it as is and work it out, but it's whatever works for you. Alright? So in other words, this would be the same equivalent fraction as 1,250 divided by 2,300. So 25 divided by 46 is the same equivalent fraction. Now, with this fraction, step 3 is multiply the amount of time. Let's go back to that time. Put drawing. I'm going to put 25 divided by 46 times
7 over 1.
7 over 1. All right, let's do this together. 7 times 25 gives us
That gives us 175.
repeat
175.
175. All right, and now 46 times 1 is just 46.
46.
Perfect. All right, good. Now, this is the easiest question. You can leave it as is, but I'd want you to simplify it to get that last mark. How many times can 46 go into 175?
3 times, sir.
All right? And it would leave a remainder of? So you're going to say 46 into 46 goes one time. 46 into 175 goes 3 with a remainder of. So you're going to say, for example,
37. 37, sir.
so it leaves a remainder of 37.
Yes, sir.
So it'll be 37. But let me just check it quickly. So I'm going to say 46 times 3, 138, and 175 minus 138. 175 minus 138. That gives us, 37. 37. So we're going to 37. So we're going to say 3 and 37 divided by 46. All right, so what is this really saying? We can express this in a final statement by saying, Jazeel, the amount, so we can say, therefore, the amount of time that it took 2,300 men to build the same wall is 3 years and 37 over 46. All right? Everybody, does everybody understand what Jazeel just did? Everybody understands?
Yes.
All right. If you don't understand, the class was recorded, so please just check it back. But this is it for indirect proportion. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything. So let me just check quickly. Yes, we did everything that we needed to do. So that was it for indirect proportion. We talked about rates. Remember that we said that rates mean for every, right? So let's go back to the notes. So we've done rates, ratio, and proportion. Now, next class, we're going to move on to a new topic, which is going to be average. Well, we can actually do the topic now. So write this for me. We're going to talk about average. So go here. Right? Let's talk about average. Average. Now, we're not talking about somebody being average now. We're just looking at what does it mean to have an average. So, the term average means a arithmetic solution for how much of a value is seen. Okay? Or in other words, the sum of values, right? The sum of values divided by the amount of times it occurs. So divided by the number of values. We can create an expression to say another name for average is mean. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard the term average before, so let's just work out a quick average to explain it. Given the following numbers, one, 8, 20, 3, and 0, find the average of the set. Okay, here's what we do now. First step, step 1, is going to be to add the amount of values. All right, let me pick on Emma. Nice to see you, Emma. How you doing? Are you there, Emma? All right, let me give her a moment, but we'll get back to her quickly. Harry, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
All right, nice to see you, Harry. Okay, you're gonna tell me now, how many values do we have in this set? 1, 8, 23, and 0. How many numbers are there?
5.
All right, let's just put Harry's name. Stated that there are 5 values. There are 5 values. Okay? Now the next step is gonna be to find the sum. Can anybody remember what does sum mean? Let me go to David. What does sum mean? David, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What does the term sum mean? Have any idea?
It means a pro.
What does it mean?
It means a pro. It means
Let me help you a little bit. If I tell you that I want to find the sum of some things, I'm gonna find the total amount of something that there is. So what is the total amount of these values? What does that mean? Am I subtracting them, multiplying them, adding them?
oh, it means add.
Perfect. So sum, as David said, means addition. All right? Good job, David. Now, when we want to add these values, we would say 1 plus 8 plus 20 plus 3 plus 0. Let's just quickly calculate this. So the sum is going to be all the values added together, which gives us 32. Okay? All right. So we've done the 2 steps. We added how many values we have, and we found the sum. Okay? Now, what did the instruction say? The sum of the values divided by the amount or the number of values. So what do you think we're gonna do? Pale. What should I write here? To find the average is equal to?
Add all the numbers and divide them.
So we've added the numbers and we say it's 32. And what are we going to divide it by?
The amount of numbers there are.
So we said that was 5, right? Yes, we said it was 5. So we're going to say divided by 5. And let's see the average. Let's put calculate. 32 divided by 5 gives us 6.4. So this value means that it's the overall average of the values. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's average, or in other words, mean, arithmetic mean. Alright? And just to recap what we did, we talked about indirect proportion, we went through the homework, and now if you didn't submit the homework, make sure you do so, right? So I can put the grade on what exactly was done. So write this for me. Here's some homework. It's 2 little homework. I'm gonna put hashtag homework. Here we go. First question. A boy buys a ball for $1.50. A boy buys a ball for $1.50. how much does he pay for 6 balls? Question 1. Question 2. 3 men shared a sum of money. 3 men shared a sum of money in the ratio 3-5-7. 3-5-7. The man who got the largest share got $21. $21. What was the other shares? Or what were the other shares? And then finally, just a little writing question. The average of 20 numbers is 40. The numbers 35, the numbers 35, 35, 40, 45, 50, and 55 are added to the 20 numbers. What is find the average of this set of value and compare them to the first average. Tell which is more. Let me just copy this. Oh, my bad. All right, everybody. So those are the 3 questions. Understand, everybody? Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me just take attendance. 1 second.
Sir, can you send the link?
Okay, yeah, sure. I will send you the link. Give me a moment. Let me just. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So let me just send you the link. All right. Now remember, when I send you the link, you're just gonna scroll down to today's date, and you'll find the notes there. All right. Let me just stop screen.